dragon without its rider is a tragedy. A rider without the dragon is dead. Welcome to Shut the Smut Up.
Yeah. Wow. You get the evil laugh down.
Anyways, I'm Dallas.
I'm Carly.
And welcome to Shut the Smut Up. So on today's episode, we are going to be talking about one of our all-time favorite series, Fourth Wing and Iron Flame
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
So good.
So first off, we're going to start this episode off with showing you editions that we have of the book.
Dallas has 100 and I have about 3.
She said. Anyways, so let me pin this. Anyways, I don't have a dragon shirt, so I wore a Velociraptor instead. I figured close enough, right?
I've got scales. My friend made me this, and then it says a dragon without its rider, all the stuff on the back. But yeah, it's got fun little scales and stuff. I love it. It's so cozy.
It is a super
I
cute
love
shirt.
it. Kins did a good job.
I love the texture of the shirt and everything. It just
So do I.
works really
Comfort colors for the win.
Anyways, this video is not sponsored by anything.
No.
Because she said comfort colors for the win. Just gotta put that out there. Not sponsored by anything. But yeah, let's get into it. So Carly is gonna start off first with her special edition of
Fourth Wing.
Okay,
so this is from Acrylopix, and it's the most beautiful, the foiling on this. I love gold. It's one of my favorite colors ever. I just look at this and admire it. The sprayed edges are amazing. It just makes me so happy. The day I opened this and looked at everything, I was so excited. I just internalized it all.
And you have a video obviously on.
Yeah, I have a video on TikTok of me opening it and really going through everything.
And which we can add. We'll add here. We can add a snippet of it so you guys can see.
Yeah, because it really just is so beautiful. All of the sprayed edges and everything, and the foiling is phenomenal. But that just kind of gives you a little bit of a look. I love it every time.
It's super gold. I can see the reflection behind the.
Yeah. I just can't. Look at Andarna and Tarn. This is what they look like in my mind. I felt that was a pretty good, accurate representation of Tarn. And look at her Andarna's little feather tail.
Now, Carly, I need to ask you a question.
Yes.
How do you say Violet's black dragon's name?
I don't know. It changes.
It does change in the mood you're in, huh?
Tarn?
Tarnanok.
Tarnanok?
It's a Tarn.
Tarn.
I would assume so.
We'll just interchange it probably because we'll forget and I'll get excited.
And then how do you say her gold dragon's name?
Andarna, what's the last part?
Andarna Narnanum.
Andarna Narnanum.
That's so wrong, so don't come at us. Andarna.
I don't know. I probably should have had a pronunciation guide in front of me.
So, and then for my first version is going to be the Australian paperback of Fourth Wing.
So pretty.
It's just, they're plain. I got these so I can annotate, which I have currently started annotating. And then also I have the paperback of Iron Flame. She's thick.
Love it. I love the copper too.
Yeah, they're just super pretty and they're really floppy. We love a good flop.
Yep. I'm a sucker for an ebook or a hardback, but so when there is kind of a floppy book, I do tend to mess around with it. I love the videos when people are
so. And then we're gonna go to my next one. This is my Fourth Wing from Bookish Box.
It's beautiful. Look at the gold.
I love the corners. It's got black and blue on the dragons. You can't really see it. I do have a video posted up on my TikTok of me unboxing this. And it's got the sprayed edges around. So this is also a signed edition by Rebecca Yarros.
Dallas is bougie, if you didn't know this.
I do have the Bookish Box of Iron Flame already ordered. It is going to be shipping here soon, so hopefully that comes. Next up is going to be my Fairy Loot edition of Fourth Wing with this alternate cover.
Look at the back.
Violet and Xaden. And then on the back, you have their dragons.
I love it.
As well. So, and then the sprayed edges. So this one is also signed by Rebecca Yaros as well. I do
Is this
have
reversible?
yes. Yep, I do have the Iron Flame edition pre-ordered as well.
Oh, it's just the
It's just the normal gold. Yes, and then on the hard edition they have the gold. But yeah, so I do have the Iron Flame for Fairy Loot. It's ordered and it is going to be shipping here soon.
This is really good art of them. Like I
agree.
I really like this art.
So
the artwork's amazing.
Yeah, Fairy Loot does wonders.
Dang. Man, I can't decide.
Next up is my very first Fourth Wing edition, the first edition of it. Just the normal with the dragon sprite
I never
edges.
got this one because I read the ebook and I didn't understand the hype until I read it, and I just barely missed it. I remember seeing on TikTok everybody freaking out, like, go get this edition, and I was like, oh, that's so pretty, like, but I didn't understand the sprayed edge craze yet, and now I get it. So if I see something, I'm like, bye.
Oh, of course.
Cha-ching.
Next up is my holiday edition of Fourth Wing with the black sprayed edges and the bonus chapters in Zayden's POV.
I also have this one, but Dallas brought all of his, so we'll just show you his. I do love the red on that. That was super fun.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do have 2 editions of the Fourth Wing. The Iron Flame with the black sprayed edges. This one is the signed edition by Rebecca Yaros from Barnes & Noble.
So
the other one I have is just a plain to go along with my other sprayed edges.
I do love the black sprayed edges, but these ones coming up, it's gorgeous.
So let me clip this so I can give you guys a whole view of this one. Next up is going to be my Fourth Wing edition, but this is the German edition. So you have the pretty sprayed edges.
I love the dragon on the front. It's a little.
It's embossed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the good thing about these ones is not only do they have the really pretty sprayed edges, they also have a ribbon.
Let's see the ribbon.
It's just a gold ribbon.
Oh, nice! I love that.
Spot. On this one, they do have on their end papers. It is a colored map compared to the original edition, and then the hardback
beautiful
is Tarn.
Okay.
With his morning star.
Why did we not get that? Is it because we're Americans are impatient?
I'm not sure.
I feel like the French and the German editions of books are just like
stunning.
Yeah, they're just beautiful.
So, and then next up after that is going to be my German edition of Iron Flame. The other really sprayed edges.
Wow.
And then this one just has an updated map. On the inside, it's just updated. And then the other good thing about this is you have Sigel, Zayden's dragon on the cover.
Like on the, holy cow, the blue and the purple.
Goes all the way around.
Wow. That's like, makes you want to display it and take the dust jacket off.
And I would assume that's Sigel because of the blue dragon, but I could be wrong. So. And then I only have 2 more editions, and this one is going to be my Waterstones edition of Fourth Wing with the really pretty sprayed edges. They go all the way around the clouds. And it's got the dragon from the cover on it. And then I have, this one has just got the map on the inside. But for the Iron Flame edition,
I love the copper on this.
If you hold them up together, the sprayed edges do connect on the clouds. But the really cool thing about this Iron Flame one is going to be their end paper art.
Yeah. I feel like
you got Zayden, and then you got Violet over here. So
that is just insane to me. Is your dust jacket on backwards?
No, unfortunately. So when I got this one, the sprayed edges were upside down.
Oh, you know what? That's right. I remember you.
So the book is, the sprayed edges are correct upside down, but when you open the book, it's upside down. So.
It's still beautiful. It's worth it.
Yeah, so they're just there to look pretty on my shelf.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely aesthetically pleasing.
That is all of my Fourth Wing and Iron Flame editions.
He brought a whole tote.
I have to keep those babies safe, man.
Yeah.
Costs
They really
a
are.
pretty penny.
Yeah. They're all just like so beautiful. Dallas has the type of like, he's in the middle of, he's getting a library, but like his bookshelves that he had at his house just originally, you just go and you just stare. Like he has some of the most beautiful books you have ever seen. Like Dallas got me into special editions because I was like, well, I need those. Well, I want that. And then you just find yourself walking around the house and you just like glance at them and it makes you smile.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So in total, I'll have, once I get my Fairy Loot edition and Bookish Box edition of Iron Flame, I will have 7 editions of each.
Dang.
And she's still got 3 more books to come.
I'm so excited. I want them to come out. I'm so impatient. And then you get like all the fan theories and stuff and it messes you up because you're just like, I hope it lives up to it.
The fan theories are on a different level, man.
Level. Okay. Should we talk about the book?
Yeah.
Books. Fourth Wing first, I'm assuming, right?
And Fourth Wing was a 5-star. Hands down. Easily 5-star. The hype was 100% worth it.
Anybody can read it and get into it. I feel like Fourth Wing is one of those books that I think can get somebody into fantasy. When I found out that this was her first fantasy book, I was like, are you kidding me? I'm like, you should just, I haven't read her other books. I probably should, but nothing does it for me like fantasy does. It gets you out of your head. It's amazing.
It's a whole new world.
Yeah. And you love dragons. I love dragons as well, but Dallas is like huge into dragons.
I am.
And these dragons, like, you read other dragon books and it just doesn't live up to the hype because the dragons talk in Fourth Wing. And I don't know about you or who your favorite character is, but Tarn's my favorite.
Oh, 100%.
He is my favorite character in honestly almost any book.
He's the grumpy old man.
Yeah, I like it.
Stop bleeding. You're making us look bad. That's probably one of my favorite things from him.
Yeah. I feel like even in Iron Flame, like Tarn carried like the whole first half of the book, at least the first like 25%.
Agreed.
You know, like he's funny, and I love that you meet him so soon on, and I just feel like it gives this book so much character, and I don't know, I just love him. He makes me laugh.
She just brought to life different characters that we weren't expecting, because you look at different dragon books and they're silent, or you know what I mean, they're there as like they to be written, or they're bad, and in this book you just get to see a different side of them, and
I love that, and I'm excited to see what's coming next with all of this.
Agreed.
But, I feel like so you were the one that I think originally told me to read this, which that's half of my TBR, you know, or most of it. I feel like when I first started this book, I actually bought it so that I could go on vacation and have a book to read. And I just read it so fast. I read it before I even left. Yeah. I think I read it in seriously like a day. I just did, like, it was like maybe like two nights. And I just was like, I just pounded through it.
It's just an easy book to get through.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely got adult content in it. So just be aware of that. But like in the best kind of way. I loved it. Oh. So when I first started this book, I thought that like, I don't know what I thought. Like, I thought Mara was going to be in it a little bit more because you open that first scene and they're in like her mother's office. And it just kind of made me laugh. Like her pack's just like packed down with books and all this stuff. And Mara's like, it makes me laugh.
She's like, these books are going to get you killed.
Yeah.
And Violet's like, no.
She's like, what are you talking about? Like, I need these. I feel like, and I stand behind this, I feel like she would be a Ravenclaw if she was like in the Hogwarts house.
Yeah.
With all the knowledge and stuff where she was going to be a scribe. And
I do feel like her sister was kind of like, we just haven't gotten anything out of any of these books. I mean, I know that she's more in book 2 than she is in book 1.
Yeah.
But
I love that she's just like strong-willed. And she's just like looks out for her, but also at the same time she's like, no, this is how it's going. But she also like doesn't limit her. You can tell that just from like that first scene. I feel like I
agree, but we just don't know a lot of her sister, right? There's so much more that we're going to learn in the next 3 books, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
And on the topic of her sister, I do believe her sister is going to die. That is a theory of mine.
That makes me sad, but also at the same time, like if somebody was to, I could see that happening.
Well, because in the first book, Brennan is completely dead.
Yes.
As of what we know, right? Book 1, he's completely dead, and then the ending.
Yep.
He's alive.
Yeah.
So if any sibling is going to die, it's going to be her sister.
Right.
Unfortunately.
I feel that way too. Now that you, like, I feel like all your theories make sense. But I loved that sprinkled in the book that it was like the book of Brennan. Like, he wrote all of these, like, tidbits to help Mira through the Writer's Quadrant. And I loved that, like, you got those little, like, thinking that he's dead, right? You got those little tidbits into his personality and how he navigated things.
At the school, correct. Yeah. So you had a sense of who he was when he was in school.
Right. Which I thought was super cool. Do you want to talk about how Mira told her to stay away from Xaden, is it Rorson? Is that how you say his last name?
Xaden Rorson.
Shadow Daddy.
Obviously, we all know when somebody gets told to stay away from somebody, they're like, okay, I'm going to go, I'm going to rock their world.
And he does.
And yeah, obviously Xaden and Violet are together. The relationship builds in the first book, and then I feel like...
I like tension and the banter. Oh, I'm obsessed with the banter.
100%.
Yes.
Book 2, I wanted them to shut the fuck up.
I was like, can you guys communicate? The miscommunication, which is why I said Tarn carried like the whole first half of the book. Because I remember talking with you and like we were Snapchatting about it and everything, and I just was like, what's happening? Because like he sits here and tells Violet like, oh, you can ask me anything, but like
I can't tell you the answers.
But he's like not volunteering any information, and I was like,
she's like, just tell me. She's like, why do I have to ask? You should just tell me. But then again, she's over here like keeping her own little secrets at the same time, and it's like, y'all are just horrible. So in book 2, it did make me want them to just... Part of me wanted her to fuck Dane.
No!
Like...
Okay, the Dane hate, though...
Dane is Tampon in book 1, 100%. Actually, in my reread of Fourth Wing, in my annotating, I've actually started taking notes of how many times Dane touches Violet.
Yeah. I remember, like, you were talking to me about when we were doing that, when we were both doing a reread before Iron Flame came out, and we were like, oh my gosh, he touched her again! Yeah. Like, we just kept being like, oh my gosh, it was like 1, 2, 3, like, it just, like, kept going up. At one point, you, like, quit counting because it was, like, so many times. So you're like, okay, like, how many times is he reading her mind?
Correct.
But, like, you're so excited because she talks about Dane, like, in the first book. So when she goes to, like, meet him and she makes it across the parapet and everything.
You're so excited. You're like, oh, yeah. Yay.
And then you're like, you get ick. Like, you're just like, oh.
Yeah,
like,
and
he just tries to take her out of it, like, so many times. Like, you need to leave. You're not meant to be here. And I was like,
you have no faith in her.
Yeah.
Until book 2. But yeah, like, with the whole, like, with them... couldn't make up their mind on trusting each other and telling each other information. Yeah. I was like...
It was obnoxious. Violet,
he's the only man you've ever been with. Go be with another man.
I know.
See if it's something different.
Right?
You know? And obviously Dane comes back into the picture and he ends up being on their side, part of the rebellion.
Which, it was like a pretty good, like...
redemption arc.
Yeah, I do feel like he was redeemed with that, which was nice. But, like, the first book, you kind of hate him.
Yeah, he's Tampon.
Like, yeah, he kind of sucks. And I don't know. It was really fun to like get her. Like, I loved her friendship. Is it Rhiannon?
I say Rhiannon.
Rhiannon, yeah. So like when she's first going over the parapet and she ends up giving her boot, like, and they're like, don't make friends, like whatever, and she like gives her boot to her to help her so she doesn't slip. And I'm just like, I was worried that Rhiannon was gonna die at some point because like from the first moment she like became friends with her. But I hope that it's like you just don't know.
Books.
I know.
So
see, and like you feel like Mira's going to die, and I feel like Rhiannon might die.
And both could.
What if they both do? I'm dwelling.
So I'm gonna read. Let me find it.
In Iron Flame or Fourth Wing?
It's from Fourth Wing. It's like literally the first. The following text has been faithfully transcribed from Navarian into modern language by Jasenia, curator of the Scribe Quadrant at Basgiath War College. All events are true, and names have been preserved to honor the courage of those fallen.
I know. That gives me chills.
Everybody's going to be dead by the end of this.
Yeah.
Besides Jasenia, obviously.
Right. Which is Violet's friend in the Scribe Quadrant. Oh, yeah. That okay. If you've read Fourth Wing, Liam and her kind of have a little bit of a right?
Yeah, it's Liam and Jasenia in book 1.
I know, and I was kind of sad.
And then I was just going to bring up Liam anyways. So let's talk about Liam. His death. I did not see that one coming.
I did not see that as well. I wish we would have gotten to know him a little bit more before he died, and I think I would have felt a teensy bit more of a connection. But then, I'll watch different videos people make, and I was like, oh yeah, that was devastating. It's like you forget.
It really is. I felt like it was so. I think that was probably the devastating part of the whole book.
Yeah.
It rocked me more than her brother coming back to life, I felt like. And when he was like, it's been my honor, you know what I mean? It's fuck. But then again, Rebecca Yarros has never been known in all of her books, and she stated she doesn't like happy endings.
And I love/hate that for readers. We need a little bit of happy endings, but also, I don't know.
Okay, so when she sees Liam in book 2, when she's being tortured.
Okay, that gave me Throne of Glass vibes.
It's chills. That's Sam.
I know.
That's Sam to Selena to Aelin, right?
Yeah.
But Liam to Violet, 100%.
And then okay. So in an interview, Rebecca Yarros said something along the lines that Violet's because she has 2 dragons, right?
Correct.
So she should have 2 signets. So she said that it was mentioned in the book what her second signet was, and so there's all these fan theories that she can raise the dead, right? I don't think that is her second signet. I don't know why, but
commune.
Maybe she can,
because there has been talk of her being so close to their god Malak.
Okay, right? Yeah, that's right. But here's the thing though, is it's you're being tortured. You're in a different headspace. What if did she conjure him up? Is it something that's just in her mind, or
in the book Liam does say that this is real, because she's
that's
you're
right, he does.
My imagination.
Yeah.
And he's but I'm not. So
maybe. Guess we'll find out.
We're gonna skip now to the torture scene with Varys. What do you think of Varys?
Okay. I think yes. Okay, so I have a theory on this. I could be totally wrong, but I think Varys was too good of a villain for her just to kill him off that easily. So what knife did she use? Okay? I think that he's not dead, because you have to okay, so explain how you have to kill a Venin.
Why do I have to?
I don't know, because I need to talk to you about it.
Anyways, so with a Venin, there's a special dagger. Right?
Yes. I think he's Venin, and I don't think he's dead, because I think she just used a normal, because she stabs him in the chest, right? And Jack Barlow was so interconnected with him, and Jack obviously didn't die. We find that out.
Jack comes back looking just as normal, but he is Venin.
Yes. So, and we actually, there's another theory that he's been Venin for a long time, and there's a reason he tried to kill Andarna. But I don't think Varys is dead. He's way too good of a villain for her to kill him off. I think she used a normal dagger, and I don't think he's dead, because it was such a quick thing to get over with, and it was too easy. So I'm suspicious.
I'm going to agree with you. I do think that because of the whole Jack Barlow coming back, Jack being connected to Varys, and Jack being Venin, I do agree that I think that Varys is Venin, and I do think that he will show back up.
Yes.
I 100% agree.
Why wouldn't he? Jack did, right?
Yeah. And Jack is still alive. How book 2 ended.
And he was literally crushed by a mountain. Violet, when she had discovered her signet, literally pulled the whole mountain down on him.
Right.
How the hell did he
So, how do you feel about Zayden being Venom now? I called it though. 100% called it.
You did.
I even posted a video on my TikTok about him being turned into a Venom before I read the ending of the book. I called it 100%.
Yes, we were Snapchatting and talking about it, and I was like, "Don't tell me this." And it was like, looking back, I'm like, we should have known what was going to happen, but we didn't. But I remember just like reading and being like, "No, like, dang it! I'm so happy but so sad because it's so good. Like, it's such a good plot twist."
It was.
And just like, but then
Violet is going to kill him. She's gonna have to.
I don't like that.
You already said it. You don't think that she can bring back the dead. Venom are somewhat of dead creatures.
Right.
They suck life out of things because they don't have any life in them. So we know that Violet's second signet isn't going to be life. I think her second signet is going to be like she's an amplifier or...
Yeah, because if you look like in the books, every time something like significant's happening, everybody's been able to do things that they weren't able to do before.
Yep, Rihanna. Rihanna
like,
pulling the dagger through the wall.
Mira, when she extends the wards,
the shield.
Yeah, I'm getting like chills talking about all of this.
So I do not think that he is going to live. And it sucks because I do love their relationship, even though in book 2 it did suck. It got better.
Oh, yeah. When they make up finally, you're like, it's about damn time.
But Zayden, I feel like, has to die.
If she does, I hope she kills him off later on. And I hope it's a slow transition.
I think it'll be in book. The way I'm feeling, it is not going to be like the last book. It'll be then to book 3.
And then her like...
book 4. Because you think...
I don't want you to be right, but like, but I do at the same time.
She has this war that she has to battle. If he dies in book 3, she can heal from it within book 4.
Yeah.
To go into the final battle in book 5.
Side note.
Go ahead.
Final battle in Iron Flame. I feel like it's more on my mind because we obviously read it more recently. Is it Garrick? Was it Garrick that we were like, where's Garrick? Or was it... We talked about this when we read the book originally.
Agreed.
Because it's his best friend, correct?
Yes.
And we were like, where was Garrick during all of this? We chatted about it, and there was a few...
we don't know.
Yeah, there was like a few people like missing from the battle that we were kind of like, where are you? What's happening? I remember talking about that with you just a little bit.
I'm not sure. I can't remember. That was a long time ago.
It was, yeah. We probably should have done this sooner. We both meant to do like reviews on like Iron Flame, and there were so many controversial things. Like people were pissed that people were doing spoiler like reviews that were spoiling and all this stuff, and then we just like never ended up doing it. So I mean, it's a perfect time to talk about it now. But
let's skip over to Violet's dad. I think he's alive.
Do you?
100%. I think he is alive.
Okay.
But I do think he is Venom.
Okay. I don't know how... I'm not sure. We obviously know that something happened to Violet. Like, there's some theories out there that her mom was pregnant with her, and she was attacked by Venom, right? Because she's got the hair that's leached of color at the end, no matter how she cuts it or anything. And in the books with the Venom, they touch their hands.
Yeah, they leech.
Yeah, they leech the life from the earth. And so...
Or anything living.
Yeah, just anything living. Like... So, I don't know. That would be really interesting.
So, I do think he is alive.
Okay.
I think Brennan knows. I think also Brennan's lover.
Yes. Okay.
Tarn's ex-writer. He is also alive. And I do believe that he is also Venom. I think that Tarn knows this. And that is why Tarn has a hard time talking about his ex-writer. Because of this fact. That he is Venom, and Venom is so like it's bad, right? So I do believe that it's going to come full circle with Tarn's ex-writer, Brennan's lover. Everything is going to come together, and everybody is still alive.
Yes, I'm so sorry. These dogs are so stinky. Oh. I'm sorry. I'm over here trying not to laugh because these damn dogs are just like so stinky.
But
Sorry. Oh, okay. But yeah, I do think that you're right in that one. I agree with that one for sure. I feel like people keep like all the characters in the series, they keep secrets. Like when you find out Sigil kept secrets from Tarn, you're just devastated for him. Just completely and utterly devastated. I felt so bad at the end, and I wanted, like, that was something that I was like, you knew what it wasn't going to get explained because there wasn't that much left in the book, and I was like,
Correct.
no. We need some explanations in the third book.
Able to.
There, at the end, when Xaden's talking to Sigil, like, mind to mind, and she's like, no, like, I'm getting chills even talking about this. No, I chose you. I chose you. And he's like, Violet chose me too. And I was like, what?
But
it was so good.
I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see how she comes back in book 3 with the whole Xaden now being Venin or turning into Venin. It's going to be interesting to see how Tarn and Sigil's relationship is going to go because obviously they are mated, and that was a big. It was a huge secret, and you could tell that Tarn was very mad. He was like,
just devastated. Yeah.
So
I wanna look it up.
What?
I'm just gonna look it up.
So it's going to be really interesting. What are your other theories?
I don't know. There's a lot. I can't think of any like right off the top of my head. I feel like it's one of those things where my memory, like I just like will start talking about things and I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember this. Like I've kind of got my brain like
all scrambled.
Yeah. So do you remember at the end when Violet sees Xaden's eyes, and then do you feel like it jumped and all of a sudden they were just like in her room, like, and they were sleeping, and then he goes and talks to Jack Barlow. And I was so confused because I was like, are they ignoring this? Like, everything's just going on as normal and they're not telling anybody yet?
I think so. I really do think so. But going back to sleeping into dreams, it wasn't Violet that was having the dreams of the venom of the mage. It was actually Xaden.
But
Xaden talking to the mage, and she was living it through his mind when he was asleep.
Yes, because he can read minds, right?
Correct.
But what if that's Violet's second signet as well? What if she can also mind read or do something like that? Or do you think he was sending it out? Because I know there were some theories about that. I don't know what I believe.
I think he was sleeping, right? When it was happening the same time she was. So I think that's why she was getting those. And she was thinking that it was her. But I honestly think Violet is going to be like an amplifier because going back, Mira with the shield, right?
Rhiannon with the dagger. Amplifier.
Is it Riddick with the ice?
I think so.
But anyways, there was another moment with one of her friends that can control the ice. I believe it's Riddick. He did a huge storm of ice, right? Like, just there's just so many different things that people can do when they are around Violet with their powers more than what they're capable of.
I can't find it. I'm going to find it.
But no, I understand where you're coming from because what do you think? The book ended with him turning around, you know what I mean? We're seeing their eyes, and then it went to Xaden's point of view where he goes and talks to Jack. And Jack is like, now we're brothers.
Yeah.
So, and it will also be really cool in book 3 because we're going to get a different point of view now, right? Because he's going to have more inside things on Venin because he is now one.
I'm
they're going to want to sway him to that side.
Yes, I'm super excited to get more of an insight on the Venin because we don't know a lot. But like the Venin he keeps seeing in his dream, he thinks is a sage and he's a general, and nobody's.
No, that was the mage
that he's seeing in his like mind.
Yeah, that's the one that he ended up killing when he got turned.
Oh shit, that's right.
Because that was at the battle. Yeah.
The
mage was there, and Violet was going to go after her, but obviously something happened with Andarna and the ward stone or whatever.
Yes.
So Xaden was the one that killed the mage, and then so
I can't find it, but I want to, like, because I mean, I'm looking like this is Xaden's point of view, and this is when he finds out he's a general.
yeah, see, a sage.
Yeah, he laughs. I am a general. Clench my fist. Let the fire consume me. Okay, I got it. Okay. Okay. This is when he's having the altercation with the general. No, this is with the general. This is when Sigil. Hold on a second.
Oh, okay.
This is why I did the same thing. I looked at that and I thought, because it is when he talks to Jack, but this is before. So, this is Sigil talking to Xaden. She goes, hold him, she demands, but I can't. He's too strong and I have nothing left. But I'll be damned if Violet suffers the consequences. He won't get his hands on her. Not today, not ever. The slush beneath my palms melt and I feel there's something beneath me. A steady flow of unmistakable power. You cannot, Sigil shrieks. I chose you, but Violet chose me too. I reach. I was like, when Sigil said that, and he just thinks like, but Violet chose me too. I'm like,
But will she choose him then?
I know. That's just like something that stuck with me, and I'm sorry it took me so long to find that. But I was like, it's just like Sigil like never begs anybody. She's just
badass dragon.
Yeah, Sigil's freaking awesome as shit, and so it's just one of those things that like, if she's begging somebody not to do something, like it's terrible. Like, it'll
be interesting, just like I said, to see how it all plays out, because obviously Sigil is going to be affected by this, because we obviously know that the Rider Dragon bond gets severed.
So it's like, is Violet still going to be able to talk to Sigil through? Like, are they all still going to be?
That she'd be able to talk through Sigil through Tarn.
Yeah, but like, is Xaden going to be cut off from like Sigil?
Well, you think about it, because
slowly or immediately.
Jack kills his dragon, right? The bond is not there no more to kill.
So he's not going to die if his dragon dies.
So I honestly think that their Sigil's and Xaden's bond will sooner or later be severed.
That makes me devastated to even think about. Like, I don't know. I feel like these books, like, we obviously do not have dragons. We do not have any of this stuff, but you just have like this emotional connection to them. She did a really good job of that in the first book. So then when these like crazy big hitting things are happening in Iron Flame, like you're just so attached that you're like, no.
Correct.
But like, I even felt bad. This whole thing, obviously everything we talk about is going to be a spoiler, so you already know this. But like when her mom gives up her life. At the what is it called? I keep wanting to say Wardstone, but
that's what I said.
Yeah, whatever the heck it is. Like you didn't love. Is it Lilith?
Lilith, yeah.
General Sorrengail. But like in that moment, you're like she was a mother at that moment.
She was.
You know, I don't know. It was just good, and
didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
I really thought her mom would have been in it a lot more.
But I think that she saw what was happening with Liam's sister, because we meet Liam's sister in Iron Flame, and I can't remember her name right now just because I need to. And because isn't she a what's her signet? It's when she can pull power. She's a
siphon.
She's a siphon. I was like, I can't remember what that word is, but like, and that was when she was like, all right, and then she gives up her life.
Yeah.
And that was intense. And then that's when everything just kind of goes to shit.
But we could talk about this for hours, obviously.
There's just so much to talk about. We need to talk about Cat.
Do we like Cat? Yes and no.
Like yes, but no. But like no. Okay, let's start from the beginning, right? So one of our frustrations with the miscommunications with Xaden and Violet. So who is it that mentions Cat? I probably should have made some notes. Oh well. So one of I think it's Zayden's. Is it Zayden's cousin? I can't remember his name. I should know this.
Garrett.
It's Garrick is his friend, his best friend, but he has like a cousin because remember Violet wears the jacket, puts on his rider's jacket.
It's Garrick.
Is it Garrick? Because Garrick is his best friend, and I swear he's off doing his own thing because they're the same age, but he has a cousin.
Then it's Riddick.
It's not Riddick, because Riddick's their friend. We'll figure it out. Anyways, so, the miscommunications within Iron Flame drove me crazy. So, whoever it is, we'll figure out the name, tells Violet about Kat. And instead of her, and then she's like so bugged because she's like,
Bodhi,
yeah, which is his cousin. So Bodhi tells Violet about Kat, and Zayden's off doing these things, and he's like, well, who's Kat? But the first time she meets up with Zayden, I'm sorry, but any female's gonna be like, who the hell is that? Like, so they're taking things to like help the rebellion, to like, so they have a meeting, and that's when you first meet Kat, and she's a freaking bitch. She's not nice.
Oh, and that's when she gets thrown into the arena with the venom.
Yes.
But yeah.
Kat. Well, no, this is a different meeting, remember? But then, like, when the second time when Violet, like, defies Zayden's, like, because he tells her to stay, and then she goes to talk.
But that's when Violet realizes that Kat is related to this guy. Because remember, Kat has to take her to get dressed and everything, and is saying all that shit.
Yeah. So. But there's a pre-meeting, and then she comes back and is like, "What the hell?" But then she never brings it up with him. There's a lot of miscommunication. If you've read it, you know. Yeah.
I'm terrible at this.
That's okay. Usually, I'm the one that honestly does not remember shit, and you're like, "Remember?" I'm like, "No, I don't."
Maybe it's because I didn't like Kat, and I was like,
you just pushed her out of her mind.
Not rememberable.
But she boosts emotions. Like, she messes with people's emotions. So when she first goes and Violet's going to talk to, I can't remember who the hell it is. Is it her dad or her uncle?
It's like her uncle.
Like her uncle. And Kat is there, and Violet's like, oh my god, she's beautiful. Like, and she's so bugged, and Kat is such a bitch. And Zayden obviously like follows her, and he's like, Violet, you're not where I left you. And I was like, stop. This is when you start like really liking Zayden again. But so Mira and Brennan go with them to meet there, and basically they unleash a venom and expect Violet to fight it. So that was like a super interesting part when the venom just comes out of like in my brain I imagined like a chest, like a box. Yeah, like a box, and it just was like
Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
the White Walker.
Yeah. It was intense, but it was so good. And then, so you just like, there's this build up to hate Kat, right? So then they end up doing this thing where with the rebellion and whatever, with everybody, where like their own, like their version of Bazagaeth, they end up like, Brennan agrees.
With the Griffins.
Yeah, with like the Griffin Riders and stuff, that they're gonna put the Riders and the Griffin Riders together, and they're gonna force them to get along because they need allies to fight the venom, to do all of these things. And this is when you really start to hate Kat.
I don't know, because I also at the same time, it's like, I think Kat realizes who Violet is in these moments. So it's like she understands like why Zayden's with her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What the appeal is.
Yeah, but it took a minute.
And it did. But I don't know. I mean, that would be like with
I think you're forgetting
Chris.
Are you forgetting about the part on the mat though?
No.
Okay. Side note. So when they're going through to try to get them to bond, the Dragon Riders and the Griffin Riders, right? Kat's best friend likes Violet. Like, she is trying to get Kat to be like, okay, stop. Like, they're doing the best they can. Like, all this stuff. And Kat is just a freaking brat.
And I agree.
Yeah. And then
you got to think, though, because of who Violet's mom is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
yes.
What has happened.
So they go through all this stuff.
Point of view.
Yes. And I When we talked about it, though, that's not how you felt. We were both like, Cat sucks. Like, we were, yeah. So then it's like they kind of have like little moments where they understand each other, but there's this part that when they get back, they're letting people challenge each other on the mat, and you're like, oh, great.
You already knew it was coming.
So, of course, Kat's like, at any moment is like, Violet, like, I'm coming at you. So she gets her emotions like so amped up, and they're fighting, and then she finds out that Xaden also trained her, so they're fighting the same, and so Violet's like losing it. And at one point, doesn't she try to choke her out?
Yeah.
She like both hands, and in my brain I almost like, I was so hyped up with how much emotion was on the page, I was like, do it, finish her,
kill the bitch, kill her.
And then like Xaden says something and pulls her out of it, and he's like, basically that she's not worth all this stuff, but like I loved the moment that Violet got the upper hand. And then they go into the meeting room because they're at Xaden's house.
My house, my throne,
my chair, my woman. Listen, my house, my chair, my woman.
And then he does it.
Well, this is inappropriate, but it's fine. But like, it's so good. But then there's a part where we weren't sure kind of what happened, and he like scrambles back from the chair, remember? Because something was going through her mind. I have weird things that I remember.
You do.
I do.
But it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I don't remember that part.
So good. It was good. Anyways, we're just going to jump around like we always do, so hopefully you can keep up with our brains.
Yeah,
we basically talked about Iron Flame. We should probably talk about Fourth Wing.
A lot of stuff happens.
Yeah, a lot.
It's a lot better.
You think it is? Okay, anybody can read Fourth Wing. I think people that were like not really into like true fantasy stuff struggled with Iron Flame. People were like, just get through it. I devoured it.
I devoured it too.
We both did. We were talking about it. Like, I thought it was so good.
I mean,
but it's sitting up for more.
There was moments where I'm like, God, this book is dragging on, and I do believe that was because of the whole Violet and Xaden thing of them bickering and keeping secrets, and it's like.
But there was also this book is bigger than you think. There's a heading on every chapter.
That is very true.
Every single chapter.
They are worth to read.
Yes. No. Yeah. People that skip that kind of stuff, I'm like, you're basically not reading like a third of the book. Like, you have to do that. Do you not read them? What?
I didn't think they were. I don't know. I instantly did it. I would flip the page and just keep on reading. I wouldn't.
So you were the most detailed mother effers I've ever known, and you skipped those?
First book, I skipped all of them.
Oh my gosh. I'm so disappointed in you.
Oh well.
I read every single thing.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Let's talk about the bonus chapters. So, in Fourth Wing.
Okay. So in the special.
Yeah. I loved. So, there's a part in Fourth Wing that's like when you're getting that like steamy like banter between Xaden and Violet. So when you're on the mat, you have to earn your weapons, right? Unless it's something that you brought over, which Violet already had one, but she was poisoning people. Like, she was thinking, and Xaden caught on to it.
Correct.
And anyways, she was finding out who her opponent was.
Because of the Brennan book.
Yeah. Finding out who her opponent was, and was fighting them at like in a different battle, so that she was winning by like, which you can't poison every enemy you're ever gonna have, you know. So Xaden figures it out and challenges her to the mat because she gave somebody too much of like whatever she was giving them, and they were sick too soon. So Xaden challenges her, right? And that scene's awesome. It's because we get Xaden's
point of view on that one.
Yeah, so at the end of it, you get Xaden's point of view, and I'm like, man, I feel like I need to reread those now just to like see which one I liked more. But it was so good.
And then you also get Xaden's point of view of him talking to Sigel.
Yes.
Which was great because
I loved like that.
Sigel's point of view is going to be interesting, and I really hope in book 3 we get to see more of Sigel.
Yes, I agree. I would love that because I love her character as well.
Oh, she's so cunty.
I know. I love it.
So.
I mean, nobody else would have been worthy of turn anyways, Kay. He's a king.
He is. Well,
He's not, but I want him to be.
He might as well be.
Yeah. He just does what he wants.
I can definitely say in book 1, when they first mentioned Tarn that he was a unbonded black dragon, I instantly was like, "There's Violet's dragon," right off the bat when I first read it.
Did you?
I did.
What about the feather tail?
Then we get introduced to Andarna at the threshing, right, where the dragons are all there, and
yes.
I'm like, wait, there's Violet's dragon.
Yep.
Right there, right?
You do not expect
her to have the two.
Yeah, you do not at all. So that's like a pleasant surprise because she goes to protect her because Jack Barlow and the two stupid boys, one of them lives. They are going after it because it's the weakest link. Well, you learned in Iron Flame that maybe Jack has been Venom for longer, and you learn some theories and some different things that are going on, and there's a bigger world behind the scenes that, like, when you do a reread after reading Iron Flame, or excuse me, like, I don't know, there were just more interconnecting things.
You just pick up on things because you've read the books, so it's just picking up on the details after rereading them.
Which is nuts because you would never know that at the start.
Correct, but I really didn't. I was a real surprise when Tarn showed up at the threshing because I really did think that Andarna was going to be her only dragon.
But then, like, she's obviously too small to have a rider at that point because she's a baby, right?
Correct.
So that's also something that I'm just like, that was a really cool plot twist that I loved. And like you said, I love when he's like,
stop bleeding. You're making us look bad.
Yeah.
Like, you try to stay on and blah blah blah.
Keep your seat.
Yeah. Like, and then when he tries to, like, with his magic to keep her in,
yeah, he like locks her in.
She's like, "Let me go."
Yeah,
let me go. Let me do it.
I'm like, girl, you better listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. But for him to like pick that, and then when they fly, like when they do their little things above, like, and kind of showing off or whatever, and then they land in like the big field, and like when they go to write down their dragon's name and everything, and they're like freaking out when like Andarna speaks up and is like, write my name too. Like, she's so cute and funny, and then everybody loses it. They're like, you can't have two dragons. And then I love when Tarn's like, mortals or whatever, like man can't
not control the whims of dragons.
Yes, I loved that too.
Yep, he says that quite a bit.
Yes,
men do not speak for dragons.
Mm-hmm. But it's so interesting, the growth in Andarna from Fourth Wing to Iron Flame, because Fourth Wing, she's just like this little happy-go-lucky. Yeah, she's just a baby. And then
we get a teenager.
Yeah, and then she's like a little sassy teenager, little shit. Like, but I like loved that. I thought that was like super interesting to watch her grow and learn about some different things with her. But this
her
is
being the seventh kind of dragon.
Yes,
her
which
being wanting to represent Tarn and being black.
Yeah, she can camouflage. We find out that she can freaking camouflage.
Yep, she can change the color of her scales.
Yep.
I know she ends up being a scorpion tail.
Yes.
When she kills
Jax. Oh no. Is it Varish's dragon? Because they get pinned.
What's his name?
I can't remember, but he's in orange. There's also a weird orange theme with people that are wait, do you remember when Varish, like, his dragon like goes through before Varish well, okay, hold on, my brain's going 100 miles an hour. Do you remember when they're lining up and it's their second year in Basgiath and
and then he just smokes
and he smokes and kills a bunch of people and people are running and stuff, and freaking Tarn comes and freaks out. There's another time that like he comes after Violet and Violet tries to say
you had no right to burn my
like my rider or whatever, like he says something like he has no right, and there's multiple times like in the book where Tarn's like no, tell him what I actually said, because Violet will try to say it nicer and he's like, that's not what I said.
Correct.
Like, I love that. But okay, first book, side note. Do you remember, so in Basgiath you can come after the weakest link after that, right? So obviously everybody's like saying that Violet's the weakest link, like that Jack Barlow was after her the whole book, like all that stuff. Do you remember when she's sleeping at night and
she gets
and they try to come in and kill her,
and then Xaden comes in and gets her, saves her.
Yeah. And then you find out like it's just it's so good. But then Andarna stops time, and so like there was another thing, like the fan theories and all of the things from that, like it was just such a cool scene.
I agree.
But then, like, at the end, this is another reason why you hate Dane. So Amber, which she, like, the year before was kind of with Dane, and is, you can obviously tell she's, like, threatened by Violet a little bit, but she's definitely a rule follower, and so is Dane. Well, there's different things that happen. So, like, when she's, like, in the gauntlet, like, when she's going up the ramp, Violet uses a dagger to help herself up, and Amber, like, loses it. There's all these things, like, people are like, she can't do that, like, whatever, but they're like, she brought it with her on the parapet. It's still, she can.
Correct.
So there's a part where, like, and in that scene, like, there's a woman fleeing, and you find out that it's Amber, and so she tells Xaden, and Xaden addresses it in front of everybody, and Dane tries to say, like, she would never do that, and then he's like, come here, and, like, basically doesn't ask her and tries to grab her face.
Correct.
And she's like, no. And so then, is it Tarn? Like, she shares it with Tarn, and Tarn shares it with everybody?
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like,
shares it with their dragon.
yeah, and she just basically gets lit up and off. I'm like, loved that. That was pretty satisfying after that bullshit. I liked that. I like violence.
Varys' dragon's name is Solus.
Solus, that's right. That was intense in Iron Flame when they're in the
caves and they're
yeah, and Andarna's in there with them.
Yep.
Because is this part when they're going up with the Griffin Riders, or is this a separate time? Do you remember?
I think this is a separate time.
Okay, yeah. But, like, he comes after because he's got one eye, right?
Correct. Yeah, this is a separate time. This is, like, when they're in, like, the tunnels.
Well, and you don't think anything of it because, like, a dragon can survive without their rider, but a rider can't survive without his dragon. So, like, it's really, like, another, like, nail in the coffin where you're like, okay, Varys is obvious, like, is dead. You know what I mean? But, like,
but is he though?
But he's not. I don't think he is, anyways.
So.
But, like, I feel like she, like, puts little things in there so that you think, I don't know. I'm going like 100 miles an hour. There's just so much to talk about. There's so much world building, so much, like, rereads. Yeah, it's just so good. I love it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else because we'll just keep talking and talking and talking.
Always things to talk about.
You know. Riddick's funny as hell. He continues his humor in Iron Flame.
That is very true.
Yeah. You know who else I like? Who's the kid that has to repeat the year because a dragon didn't choose him?
Somebody not important.
He is. He plays a little bit bigger role because then he's the one that ends up talking to Jessica. Remember, he tries to learn how to sign. No, Dallas.
Did you really just call her Jessica?
Oh, I did call her Jessica. My bad. What's her name? Jasenia. Okay, I was close. Jasenia. Because he tries to learn how to sign. And I can't remember his name. But he was cute in that. Anyways, we're getting to the point where we're going to start rambling, so maybe we should wrap this up.
Yeah, no, I know who you're talking about, though.
Yes. What's Liam's sister's name? We should have made a list. We just are rambling. We'll have to find out because in the start of book 2, Violet's really excited to help Liam. She's got all these letters from Liam and is excited to help her. What's her name?
You know, the funny thing is, I literally flipped that book open to when she's walking across the parapet.
Dang! It was meant to be.
Sloane.
Oh, yeah, Sloane. Okay, so she's so excited to help Sloane. And from
Sloane's like, I'm gonna kill you, bitch.
Yeah, Sloane literally. Well, then it makes me funny because it's like Sloane doesn't have the skill to back it up, but she hates Violet.
She'll find a way.
Yeah, and so then it's like interesting because then with the whole cat debacle,
she gets Liam's letters though.
Yeah, so Violet makes a bargain with her that if she keeps winning or keeps doing good things, that she's going to give a letter. Like, is it a week?
Yep.
To her, which I think helped motivate her, and she understands after when Liam writes about Violet. But it was really interesting to see Sloane even before then when she started standing up for Violet because she hated Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like multiple times Sloane was like...
Because she knew who Cat was.
Yeah. And she didn't like her. So, Violet was the lesser of two evils, I guess, for a little bit.
But Violet is, as of right now.
Yeah. But yeah, one thing I really loved between the two books is Violet didn't like immediately just like be this badass. Like she still is, of course, badass.
She takes the time. She trains. She learns her opponent's weaknesses.
Yeah.
I mean,
and she still has not found the full scope of her powers.
Correct.
Like it's just slowly.
It's she can shoot something down with the laser.
Yeah, she can do these big things, but she can't direct things.
She can't focus on it quite yet.
Yeah. And the professor that is helping her, like, there's that little ball.
Correct.
Yeah, it reminds me of one of those little balls when you were little and, like, you put your fingers in it with, like, I can't remember what those are called, but that was, like, the only thing I kept seeing in my mind, but it helped, like, trap and hone the power. And
harness it.
I thought he was going to be evil for a minute. Like, I was super suspicious. I know, I'm so suspicious. I don't trust anybody. Yeah. But yeah, I just it was so good. I loved it, but I do love that we're still learning the scope of Violet's powers. Right. Like, I like that it wasn't an immediate thing, even though when she does discover her power, you're like, yes. And then
she's obviously still got more to learn. She's got a second signet that we're gonna find out.
Yep.
And then she's got to learn how to do that one. I think the second signet she will pick it up a lot sooner.
Yes.
Than the lightning.
Do you want to know another thing in Fourth Wing that was like one of my favorite scenes ever?
Go ahead.
So
was it when they destroyed her dresser?
Oh, I also loved that. So Violet isn't in control of her power, so her and Xaden are basically like getting it on. Things are hot and heavy, and there's like lightning, and they destroy her dresser, and there's just like a whole lightning storm going on outside. So there's a part when she can't just do her powers on her own, and Tarn's like, "Do you want me to get the wing leader?" And I was like,
I feel like that's everybody's.
Okay, well, we have to talk about it. Shut up. It's so good. You know you loved it when it happened. I'm like, yes, please. Sure, go get him.
Yes, Daddy.
But yeah, I loved it. I thought these books were fantastic. I feel like these were another set of books that really just got me back into reading fantasy, and I just devoured it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Always.
I do think that I know she is currently in the middle of writing book 3. So hopefully we get book 3 at the end of the year.
Oh, I would love that. That'd be a great birthday surprise.
In November.
Yes.
And we're going to fly to New York.
Oh, we are?
We can actually meet her because would they go down the tour?
Oh, we could, I guess. I don't have anything planned. We'll have to think about it.
Sure.
Anyways, do you have anything else to add? I'm sure there's other things. Like, we could just...
5-star books.
Yeah, like, we could just talk and talk and talk about it. But yeah, I agree. They were both 5-star books for me, even with the, like, Iron Flame being a little controversial. I think that if you are, like, you enjoy fantasy...
These are a great book for you.
Yeah, like...
They are rated... like... For the rating scale... It should be 18 and older.
Yes, I was like, I don't know what age you're going to say, but I'm going to say 18 and older. For sure.
I feel like
they are
like the age
18, there's 18. A little bit of sprinkle of a spice in there. And it's fantastic spice.
Well, if you've made it this far, thank you.
Thank you.
If not, that is okay as well.
Yes. Thank you for supporting us.
Yes, and enjoying our videos. And we will catch you guys next week.
Yep. Be sure to like and subscribe and share with your friends.
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok.
Yep.
And see you guys on the next episode.
Yep. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.